ex-CIA officer's alien-UFO encounter. He claims there's a whole other reality that is surrounding us. The link between the CIA and the UFO mystery dates back to, of course, the Roswell crash in New Mexico, July 1947. And since then, many CIA officials and the ex-US military personnel propelled ufology by giving shocking statements. Former CIA and US military officials such as R. James Woolsey, Daryl Sims, Louis Elizondo, David Fravor, etc., describe how the existence of reality all around us that we are unable to perceive could be a major aspect of the UFO phenomenon. A little while ago, two veteran CIA officers, Jim Semivan and John Ramirez, who have expressed personal interest in UFO UAP issues and cases, joined the George Knapp Show to discuss the CIA's role in the study of UFOs and their own experiences. Jim Semivan spent 25 years with the CIA. He then joined other former government insiders as part of Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. He detailed how he was inducted into the CIA and learned spycraft, which takes years to master. The CIA works on a need-to-know principle, so when it came to UFOs, Semivan was not made specifically aware of research on this topic, though CIA analyst Kit Green was known for pursuing the paranormal. On Coast to Coast AM, Semivan described his own alien-type encounters that occurred to him and his wife starting in 1990, in which beings showed up even in their bedroom. Now, could this be, I don't know, maybe were they dreaming? Were they half asleep, half awake? Was it a type of demonic entities experience? Now, the incident was authentic, he said, and not a hypnagogic or dream state, he stipulated. The couple subsequently observed on and off poltergeist activity in their home. So obviously there was demonic presence there. And more recently, he said he saw a hooded figure that resembled the Death Eater character from Harry Potter, who perhaps materialized to herald the death of a close friend. Semivan said he concurs with a remark made by Skinwalker Ranch researcher Colm Kelleher, that the UFO phenomenon is a lot more than nuts and bolts and machines, as there are also psychic and biological elements that ratchet up the high strangeness. To that star's investigation of metamaterials with odd isotopic ratios, possibly associated with UFOs, was ongoing, he said. In the first half of the interview, Semivan said, "I think they mentioned that the phenomena is a natural part of our universe, and we are living in it, but we don't recognize it. The same way that insects and animals don't recognize the human universe. A cat and a dog could be running through a library, but they don't have the faintest idea what the books are all about and what libraries are all about. We might be walking through our existence, and there's a whole other reality that surrounds us that we just simply do not have the ability to see or interact with. It seems to be peeking inside or little consensus reality, and as I explained, he said to somebody once, it comes close to teasing us. It teases us, it cajoles us, it lies to us, but you can never take it home to meet the parents. It wouldn't allow you to do that. There's no formal introduction, and on top of that, there's no ontology, which is just a fancy word. It basically means there's no structure to even discuss this. We don't have a common lexicon. Somebody said we have dots, but no connections. I don't even think we have the dots, he says. John Ramirez, a 25-year-old CIA veteran who specializes in ballistic missile defense systems, was featured in the latter half of the interview. He recalled his long-standing interest in spycraft and how he shifted from being a Navy officer to the CIA in 1984. He compared intel gathering to being a journalist for a news service, though his sources for reports were typically clandestine. And like Semivan, he also experienced what might be considered alien abduction type experiences. including being placed on an examination table in a circular craft. Interestingly, a number of his counterparts in the CIA and NSA also had UFO experiences, he revealed. In his job related to missile defense, he became aware of times when Russian radar would detect unusual craft, and in one instance he said they tried to lure a UAP into landing. Ramirez noted that CIA historian Gerald Haynes wrote about the agency's study of UFOs from 1947 through the 1990s for a division that was initially called the Office of Scientific Intelligence. What was particularly intriguing to Ramirez was that the division had life sciences and medical people on staff, including possible interest in alien bodies. He also described how an Air Force pilot on the plane that flew near Kamchatka to monitor Russian tests observed a massive milky white wall, quote-unquote, of light flying towards him at 6,200 miles per hour, though the Air Force assumed it was some kind of countermeasure by the Russians. And regarding the military sighting of transmedium UAPs like the Tic Tacs, Ramirez said he does not believe that Russia or any other foreign country has the capability to produce this kind of anti-gravity technology. Lou Elizondo made these points in several interviews, but in this one he was asked to elaborate on his comments about how our senses are reductive and limit our reality, and how this might be relevant to the phenomenon. And he said, "This is something we've been dealing with for a long time. Imagine the first person to get on a boat and sail over the horizon. There's stories of sea monsters and krakens that will devour you and destroy your boat, yet we did it anyways. We did sail and we explored the world, and it turns out 500 years later, there really are sea monsters. We call them the great squid of the Pacific and the great white sharks and the whales. Now they're just part of nature and have a scientific name. But those sea monsters still exist. They're there, we just learn to understand them. Maybe this is the same thing. Maybe this is just another expedition over the horizon where we're going to realize that what we thought were monsters are really just neighbors." And interestingly, Gary Nolan, Louis Elizondo, Tom DeLonge, and Jacques Vallée say very similar things when it comes to the reality of this type of a phenomenon. And this is by House and Wise Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.